Good. Very good. So, happy Christmas to everyone who joined and who did not join. So, this text, with what we are studying, is written by one of the great masters who lived, I would say, almost 800 to 900 years ago. And he gave commentary and simplified the authentic text, which are known as Upanishads. He made it very simple. He removed all, to say, all the rituals, and he said it is all the intellect. If you have a clear understanding, clarity is there, then there will be happy Christmas every day, every moment. You know, every year we wish, we celebrate, we enjoy. So there is something in the Christmas that never changes, and that is our seeking of happiness. That prompts the mind to wish happy. Whether we have happiness within or not, we still wish. Oh, that seems to be a good thing. So, seeking inside, behind the space and the time, is what are the happy Christmases. So, the goal of Eastern wisdom is to make the entire life a celebration. Why I said so? We celebrate event, birthday, marriage, anniversary. You can exclude Sam from that. So, and many more. So you see that when we celebrate any event, before celebration, during and after celebration, we experience a kind of immense pleasure, and that pleasure seems to slip away. Mind returns to the same old routine. So we have to maintain that awareness why it slips. It should not, so that we can live and live into that state of permanent happiness, continued state of happiness. So when the mind returns to the old stuff after the celebration, it is because of the mind. The mind does not hold on to that state, that spirit, Sam was saying. And only one thing that brings the mind back to the same old stuff is nothing but the desire. So, desire is nothing but seeking something other than me to be happy. Seeking something other than me, happy Christmas, happy birthday, happy marriage anniversary, also happy tension. Huh? Happy tension. happy fight, happy conflict. So it all comes from the same one thing, the mind. So the mind leads to a series of experiences in our day-to-day life. And all these experiences we accumulate in the waking state. And that also changes our dreams in the dream state, but we don't know anything in the sleep state. Look at it. So this master says that there is one real self that never changes in any of these three states. That peace and happiness within me remains the same in a waking state, in a sleep state, in a dream state. We have to start the journey of meditation and awakening in a waking state. Can I be happy without desire? So if I'm happy without any desire, and there is an example. In deep sleep, we do not have any desire. We return after a deep non-REM sleep. Oh, I'm so fresh. I'm happy. Um, huh? I enjoyed that deep sleep. But when we are in a waking state, the desire, the same old stuff, the same old routine returns. That desire destroys the mind, hides the peace within. Look at it. Can I live life consciously from moment to moment in a waking state? What we need to do? We need to simply understand. You wake up in the morning, you're totally fresh and happy. And suddenly the storm enters into the mind with a lot of desires, attachment and detachment, duality and conflict, limitation, insecurity, and fear. Mind, I don't want. Don't go there. No, me, no, don't go there. We need that awareness only. So once we live into that awareness, we are already there. So there has to be a continuity. Now remember, this continuity is not created by the mind. We are removing what we do not want. We need not to desire what we want. It is already there within. And that is why we say only the knowledge can remove this ignorance. Knowledge of the real self can only move this ignorance. What is that ignorance? That I am searching peace and happiness outside. The moment I start searching peace and happiness outside, it is nothing but the desire. So this master goes further and says, real self, put the knowledge, the right knowledge, the clarity of the real self, which is essential, versus the secondary nature or secondary self or false self. And we have so much of clarity in the Eastern wisdom. Personality is our secondary nature. It is behavior, attitude, thoughts, feeling, desire, personal perception. You know, you all three are here. So you have a different perception about this guy based on thought, feeling, sensation, emotions, love, respect, criticism, reaction. They are all the part of the mind. It is my secondary nature. It changes constantly. But that secondary nature is built around the I, the false ego that depends on the body, instinct, behavior, attitude, thoughts that are all changing. Here, every master says, what is changing is my secondary nature. It cannot be my essential. Every day we wake up. Yesterday I had one thought, today I have another thought. Thoughts are coming and going into the mind. Essential nature is hidden behind that personality which never changes. I repeated hundreds of times, like the sweetness of a sugar. 100 years ago, sugar was sweet. Today, sugar is sweet. Tomorrow, it will remain sweet. It is like the space, the liquidity of a water, the space of the sky, the heat of the fire. It never changes. The moment we say fire, heat, you cannot add, oh, there is a fire, there is a cold fire. There is a solid water. That is temporary. You leave the ice, it becomes the water. It again returns to its essential nature. When you leave the mind as it is, do nothing, mind returns to its essential nature. Mind says, okay, now I'm tired, it has been enough. So it returns to its real nature. The real self is full of peace and happiness. So happy Christmas means that happiness is our essential nature. Whether you say happy Christmas, whether you say happy birthday, whether you say happy marriage anniversary. Now we have a lot of challenges in the married life. That's why we have marriage anniversary. So happiness. Happiness is common. Whether you say happy Diwali, happy Christmas, happy birthday, happy marriage anniversary, we are using it subconsciously, habitually, but we don't realize it. So that happiness manifests from within. We are happiness. We are peace. No, but I become happy by eating pasta. I'm happy hugging my loved ones. I am happy on the birthday. No doubt, we are happy. But that happiness manifests in any situation, in any event, in any condition because of the happiness is within me. Once we understand and maintain that awareness, the happiness will reveal itself. So what I said, that happiness, eating pasta, celebrating an event, or including the Christmas or Diwali or any event, that happiness manifests from within. I don't get happiness by celebrating the event. No, you get it. But that happiness is not in the celebration. It manifests from deep within. It is like the mirror reflects the sun into the room from outside. You open the door, and then there is a morning sun, and put the mirror at the entry, and that mirror reflects the sun inside the home. That is what we understand. whether it pertains to the money, whether it pertains to any event, whether it pertains to anything, any object in the world, they do not contain happiness. No event and celebration contain happiness. If happiness is in the not reflected in that event from within. Image in the mirror is false. It is reflected happiness in objects outside. It is reflected happiness in the objects outside. Is the happiness coming from within. That needs to be contemplated again and again and again. When we contemplate and reflect, we remove the ignorance that happiness lies in anything outside. See it, understand through a different way. When we see happiness in the objects of the world, no doubt we surely experience that happiness, or in an event. We repeat. But the repetition reduces the happiness. And then it is lost. Why? Now, thought in the mind says, no, we have been celebrating Christmas every year, so it's enough. Okay, that is, eat something, say Happy Christmas, but we don't feel anything inside. Why it happens? Because the mind is searching, claims that happiness is outside. That is why happiness reduces, and ultimately we do the same old stuff. Why happiness is lost? Because it is not there. It is not there. So the master says that if we are not a seeker, I'm deviating to the topic to make it more clear. If I'm not a seeker, I will continue to see happiness is outside. I'm ignoring. I'm fooling myself. I'm living in the false self. Become a seeker, only one desire. What is that desire? To know my real self. Why we have this desire? Because this desire turns the mind inside. Now I have to desire real self. So means what? Where the real self is located, it is not located in any object of the world outside, not in situation, not in condition, not in celebration. Should we not celebrate an event? No, we should celebrate an event to check if the real self is manifesting its happiness or the mind is taking over the event, claiming it is because of the food, it is because of the people gathered together, it is because of I had a lot of money to celebrate, I gifted, and I received the gift. No, none of them. So when the mind lives in the desire for outside world, what happens? We do not connect to the knowledge inside. When we do not connect to the knowledge, so then we will continue to celebrate these events and we lose the charm because everyone is celebrating so. So that is why the master says to become a seeker we need a discernment. Means the knowledge in the mind that should classify, filter out what I am not. That should filter out every desire that we have for the world outside. What is left? The desire for the real self that moves the mind within. And there is a natural state of dispassion because now we are desiring only one thing. So that level of discernment is required to reach to the highest state of meditation. Knowledge alone is needed. Understanding is required. With that understanding, we filter out the secondary self, and what is left is my real. That is where we land up in a meditative state that continues. There is a continuity of that state of the consciousness inside in our life while doing everything outside, as it. Why we need that power of discernment, power of right perception. You see, everything is happening here. You can be into the state of meditation here and now. Do you have a right perception while listening to me? The perception depends on the thought plus consciousness. Yeah. You can be in a state of meditation here and now. So every perception depends on the thought, but the thought contains consciousness. You cannot think, you cannot listen if you are not aware. If the consciousness is not there behind. I am stressed. Consciousness is there. I am happy. Yes, consciousness is there. I am celebrating an event. Consciousness is there. Without consciousness, you cannot have a single thought. And now see, do I perceive, do I have a right perception? Or do I add a projection into this thought? The moment you add a projection to the thought, your secondary nature returns. And that secondary nature says, okay, let us hurry up, celebrate the event. Say, Happy Christmas, done. Eat the food, sleep. You wake up next day in the morning, oh, I had a good celebration, or I had a bad. There is a woman, I'm giving lessons every week. He wrote to me that I'm disturbed. Every time, every Christmas this happens. So then she explained to me that my son always asked me to celebrate the Christmas in his home because his home is very big. And if I don't go, I'm upset. If I go, I'm upset. Because he has 4 kids and I don't like. See that? Even celebration of the Christmas. So then I said, what is your right perception? Deprive the mind of attachment of a small home or a big home. Deprive this mind. Make the mind empty. Have a right perception. Now I have already invited my friends. Okay, that's okay. So once you deprive your mind from the attachment, your upset is gone. Now talk to yourself. This is what I'm doing. With peace. So he said that my son is now coming to my home to study. So that projection should go because of the wrong thinking, because of the wrong ideas and the thoughts. The mind returns to its duality in a conflict. Let us do, when you remove all the thoughts, Remove all the thoughts inside the mind and objects from the thought. What is left is pure consciousness. We may have variety of thoughts. So each thought gives you different experience. Life is a series of experience. So when we maintain that awareness that behind variety of thoughts, behind variety of experiences, consciousness remains same. It neither comes, it nor goes. It is always there. Objects and thought enters the mind, they come and they go. Then they get associated with my feeling and they create multiple experiences. Thoughts come and go, objects come and go. If no thoughts are there, consciousness is there. Perception or the knowledge, perception and the knowledge is always there. What is that knowledge? That knowledge of the real self is always there. So let us see how we can go into that state of consciousness. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.